Hey, how you been? You know me? Uncle Brian. The past several months have been eventful in my life. But what happened was going to happen anyway. It was not a question of if, only a matter of when. There are several people I'm still in communication with. We got to a point where our friendships went away from YouTube. Talked on the phone and whatnot, and I check in with them occasionally on their channels. I had said for a while that my days were numbered on here. I was getting that same feeling I got when I woke up one morning when I had a big popular Facebook page, and I said, I just don't feel like doing this anymore. And I deleted it and shut it down. Now I've been telling people, day's gonna come, I'm gonna wake up. Whatever frame of mind I'm in, or if there's something going on in life, something's gonna happen that I know I'm gonna wake up one morning and say, you know what, I don't need this anymore, and account's gonna be gone. And I'll walk away and not miss it. You know, the way I walked away from my Facebook page, and to this day, still don't miss it. And I'd have people asking me, yeah, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? And I said, it's just going to happen on its own. It's going to be a natural course that's just going to run its course, and the day's going to come, and that's going to be it. You know what I mean? I can't tell you a reason, but there will be a reason when that time comes. I heard a lot of talk about me because I put up a fake picture. I did. I could have easily at the time said why, but I didn't even feel it was worth my time, and I had something far more important going on in my life. I didn't feel I owed anybody on here any fucking explanation about anything. Oh, I heard Sanford had fun at my expense. Even Big John Wilbur did a live stream devoted to me. A couple other guys that wear ties and shit with fucking baseball hats, they'd have a Mustang or something, they had something to say. Oh, a lot of people had things to say. So I put up a fake picture, you know. And it's funny, when that happened, I really didn't even want to do it. Somebody sent me something. The point of it was to give a visual of what can not only happen to a person when they get hit by a drunk driver, but what can happen to a car that they really care about. I thought maybe the whole point was to hopefully get through to people. Don't drink and drive. This is what can happen, not just to me. You know, all my pictures were real. You know, that was, yeah, it was me in the hospital. And with a neck brace, I had a broken. You couldn't see the real damage. My jaw was broken. My nose was broken. Fractured orbital eye socket. Concussion. Broken nose, teeth knocked out. My wrist. My plates, I even showed pictures of the surgery and the plates, the x-rays. And 6 broken ribs. You know, it hurt. And I was sitting there with a friend, you know, looking at things, and that's when I was going to post that. And he says, hey, do you ever see this? He grabs his phone. He says, I came across this. I meant to show it to you. This looks almost identical to your accident. There were pictures of my wreck at one time that was circulating around Facebook from people in the area here that saw it. They went outside, they took pictures. I don't remember anything of it. You know, I woke up in the hospital well after the fact. And not just because same year Z06, same color black, and the same type of location. And I was hit right down the street about 300 yards from my house here, but a little before you get to Fort Taylor. And when you get past the main public beach area, it's still beach area, but it's not beach area where people go to. But it's the water, and they have a concrete retaining wall separating the roadway from where it drops off into the beach area. And that part is a little grassy, and you see the water, you know. So this looks almost, and that's how I got hit. The guy came roaring down Dudley Street and fucking, you know, came right into me, T-boned me. So that looks almost identical to your accident. And then that one there was a very similar location. You could see there was water, retaining wall. It was near water somewhere. I don't know if it was a pond or a lake, river, whatever. But it was very similar in the same kind of fucking cut. And I said, you know what, I'll throw that in to give a little visual aspect. If some people don't care about somebody getting fucked up in an accident because of a drunk driver, maybe when they see what can happen to a car that's a nice guy, maybe it'll send a little message and hopefully make them think a little bit more. That was the main point of it. You know, I didn't need to bullshit anybody. I didn't have anything to gain. I wasn't begging for subs and subscribers like some people on here. I didn't think that by doing that I was hoping to become popular. You know, it was just to give a visual representation of what happens to not just people, but to their cars. And that was it. Previous day, I had taken my sister back up to Boston. She wasn't doing well. Going through a 2-year battle with her cancer. And she was not doing well at all. And she was initially supposed to go up for just another treatment. They had planned on her staying about 4 days. And then the day after all this went down, I did that on YouTube. My mind already at that point, I was like, I got a phone call from my brother. And he says, Heidi's not doing too good. He says, I just brought her up there yesterday. He says, she's not doing too good. So the following day, I got set. I was going to go up to see her. Before I left the house, I got a phone call. I was told she died during the night. And then some messages came up on YouTube. I looked at it. Said, fuck this shit. Deleted, gone. I don't need any of your bullshit. You know? Yeah, I heard. I got persecuted because of one fake picture. It took a little time for me to be able to laugh about it. I said to myself, oh really? These are the same people that have put up with Sanford's bullshit for how many fucking years? All his big claims, his projects, he fucking make excuses for, abandons. I heard he abandoned all his projects now. No more projects. Oh no, he's just talking and educating people. Showing off his Charger that some other guy did all the body work on it, whatever, and then he had to paint it because the other guy. When I heard this, I said, well, maybe something happened with this guy too. You know, they had a little falling out and the guy wasn't going to go through with his work on it and paint it. That's why Sanford had to do it himself. He painted it black or some shit like that. You know, found his way. Baby bought a rocket, forget about that 10. That's never going to happen. He abandoned that. He retired it. No more for that. And if it ever does go back to a track, he's not going to tell any. It's going to have an NT, no time. He doesn't want. He's not even going to. If it ever hits a track again, which I doubt, he won't even tell you what it runs anymore. Forget about that 10. Flying 9 from outer space. Forget about that 11. That's another one too. You know, that MC Hammer car. That's just another prop sitting there with that nose tilted up with a ton of ram, looking like a cool badass gasser or something. That. It's another one too that can't get out of its own fucking way. You know what I mean? His big claim on that's gone. What happened to those 2 Jeep engines he was going to rebuild? That's gone. But his whole clan, man, they're all out of the same. The old fucking geezer, the buzzard, the clip keeper. What happened to that 318? And that started with Sanford too. He made that big claim on that. And it's coming up on, of course, for a year now. Wasn't it like last November or something? You know, he's going to build a 318, 1 horsepower per cubic inch, using all the same parts. Going to flip his pistons and work his Sanford Magic on it with a 2-barrel stock, cast iron 2-barrel intake, stock 2-barrel, just the way it came. He's just going to take it apart, reassemble it the way he feels it should be done. Oh, but it was going to be bought 30 over. Then he drops off a junk fucking 318 with the Crypt Keeper. He doesn't even do anything to it. I heard all he did was yak about, well, I'm going to shave like another one. He's going to make all this horsepower simply by taking weight off of things. So he's going to shave the rods, take weight off the rods, take weight off the valves, take weight off of this, take weight off of that. But he never did it. Same thing with Fat Fuck Sandy, with his Casper, the not-so-friendly ghost truck. He was in on this. He was going to do head porting. Neither one of them touched the fucking heads. I heard these pawned the heads off on some fucking guy, Charles or Steve or Charles, whatever, in fucking Florida. Then he pretty much got to his wit's end with it. You know, did everything he could. He's like, can't do anything more to these heads. This is as good as they're going to get. This is the best I can do with these things. And they're still fucking sitting there. block never got bored, crank never got reworked. All the things the Crypt Keeper said he was going to do, he never did. Anything Sanford said he was going to do, he never did, but that's to be expected with him. Badass Sandy with his Casper the Not So Friendly Ghost truck, he never did a fucking thing to that. Just some guy in Florida, you know, worked on the heads. And that's where it is today. And all this time, the Crypt Keeper keeps begging for subs, begging for views. Now I hear he's having yard sale. He's trying to sell off all kinds of pots he's got around there. Still begging for subs, begging for views. You know, I haven't heard Big John Wilbur got into the act. He devoted a live stream to me. He's another one too. You know. Hey, Big Wilbur, if you're watching this, what happened to your fucking Roadrunner you yanked out of the woods for $200? You were going to restore it and drive it to Carlisle. Remember that? How many years ago was that? That ever happened? You're another bullshitter too. You guys are bullshitted all the way down the fucking line about all your claims, your projects. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. And none of you have done a fucking thing. Not a one of you has achieved any of the claims that came from your mouth. But a lot of pickle sniffers are okay with that. Let me put up one fake picture and man. That's okay. See, I can live with it. I can live with it. You have no idea how much coaxing and persuading it took from people. Brian, come on, just listen, fuck them. I really don't give a fuck about any of you. You know that. There are some people I do give a fuck about, though. Guys I actually do like, you know, Lammy, Mr. Will's Dying Breed Garage, Nolan up at Wild Rose Garage up in Moose Country in Canada, Dave, DRC Racing. You know, guys that I got to know a little bit, got to interact with them on a couple live streams. And guys I think are pretty cool. And it was fun. I've had some fun times on here. Even at Sanford's expense. You know. Hey, whatever happened with that junkyard dog guy there? Fucking Cabbage Patch Kid there. Oh, I did see on here that fucking Vermont loophole. I actually saw it, came up on a feed on internet, on Google. I went to look up something on Google and it came up, you know, on the feed. Vermont loophole law was finally closed. You know. But that law was for, you know, a lot of people are getting stolen cars registered and shit like that, you know what I mean? And Sanford's been no stranger to fucking illegal activity. He drives around without a fucking driver's license, you know. It's been proven by someone he tried to get to work for him one time. He told me himself, Nick the Van Man, it's going back a while. There's so much of a history with Sanford's bullshit that he puts out, and they're okay with it. Let me put up one fake picture and man, you know, like I fucking killed somebody. You know, I stomped a 2-week-old kitten to death, you know. Hey, that's the way you feel about it. It's okay with me. But they haven't changed much, have they? You know, Mr. Will, Dave, Noah. There are some people I miss, you know. I miss the interaction, miss the Swinger, another guy. There are a few. Actually, it's been so many months now that, I mean, no offense, but I've actually kind of forgotten your names on here. But we've had some good conversations. We've had some fun. I enjoyed your input. I enjoyed your commentary. I enjoyed your perception of things. And had some fun times. But, you know, fun times come to an end for me. And when things are going on in my life that just puts a damper on me as a person, I have a difficulty even try to have fun times. In time, things ease up. It's been several months now. And my attitude's a little bit different. I have no intention of being a full-time, part-time YouTuber. If I feel like saying something, I will. Don't count on much, you know. The one thing I did feel bad about, I thought about it after. So maybe I should have put up a video and said, listen guys, you know. But I didn't want to get into what was going on with my sister. There are some things that are just so personal, I don't need to put it out here, you know, to the public, anywhere, in any public forum. Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, nowhere. That's just too personal. And I was tempted to say, listen guys, and I said, no. Now I'm going to have to get into this family matter that's really none of anybody's business. And I don't need to explain why I'm going to be, you know, off the grid either for a while or maybe permanently. All I knew was I needed to get away from the shit here because of messages and this and that, and I didn't want to deal with any of that, and the only way to have to not deal with it was just to fucking shut down my account. Problem solved. You know, simple solution for a simple problem. A little time has passed now, but I admit I did feel bad. I didn't get to say why, I didn't get to say goodbye, you know, to some people that I mentioned, 3 of them in particular, 4 of them in particular, including Lamb Chop. We still talk on the phone and shit. Unfortunately, Will, Dave, no one, I didn't have your phone numbers, so I couldn't continue to communicate, but there were people that knew what happened when it happened. I told them over the phone, you know. Yeah, so hey, Brian, what's going on, man? You know, just talking in a conversation. You sound different. There's something that's really eating. What's bothering you? I was even, you know. And that's when I told him. Because they called, hey, what happened to your channel? You shut it down. I know you said you were going to do it, you know. I was kind of expecting it. In fact, a few people told me, I'm actually surprised it took this long for you to shut it down. I thought you were going to shut it down last month or the month before. Because I came real close back then. I knew it was going to happen. It wasn't a question of if it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. And I knew that the time was going to come when I just felt that enough is enough. And as long as I had my reason, it didn't matter to me what anybody else thought of my reason, you know. But, yeah, that's the deal. Yeah, I'm the bad guy. I put up a fake picture. Ain't I terrible? Like I said, now as some time's passed, I can kind of laugh a little bit. And I'm like, wow, that just goes to show you the cult mentality, how little cult members behave, you know. They've been willing to put up with Sanford's lies for, what, 5 or 6 years now? Big claims that he doesn't go through with. He lies right to their face. They're okay with it. Same thing with Big Woba, with whatever little cult followers he has. You know, he's going to build cars, build this, build that, never fucking did it. You know, same thing with the Crypt Keeper, the old buzzard. Same thing with Sandy and his truck, his involvement in projects, and none of them are doing anything. All they're doing is running their fucking mouth. You know? Sanford finally got away from all his claims and projects. He finally distanced himself from all this bullshit. Now all he's doing is talking. Showing off his latest possession, that Charger. You know? And giving tutorials on, you know, pretty much routine, mundane shit. And doing it in a very unsafe way, you know. I heard something a little while back. Put an engine together. He had his little homemade guinea-rigged engine stand for its first startup. And somebody said he's pouring fucking gas all over the carburetor. And it didn't even sound too healthy. It was kind of, it didn't really sound healthy. You know, it's indoors with open headers in a garage area, so naturally it's going to be loud. But they said it really didn't sound too healthy, you know. I'm only going by what I heard. I'm not about to go look it up. I usually could. I haven't had any interest. But that's the deal, you know. Past week, talked with several people, you know. Hey, Brian, come back. Come on, come say something, So I'm making a few people happy by doing this. And I don't know if I'll do it again. I'm not going to make any promises. I'm not going to make any claims. Oh yeah, I'm going to come back. I'll make 1 video a week of this. I still feel the same way about all these jokers. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing. You know, trying to hustle money on here. Make big claims. Well, Sanford, I don't know. From what I hear, he's made it very clear he's all done with projects. All done with projects, you know. Now he's just going to talk. You know, brag on himself. Relive his glory days. He's become a storyteller from what I understand. And all his stories are glorifying himself in some way, you know. That's to be expected. The Crypt Keeper, he's just running his mouth, yakking away, not doing anything with anything. Sandy, the fat boy with his truck, he's just talking about things, you know what I mean? I guess they've all got away from having to do anything. They found it's easier to talk because they know they can't back up any of the claims that come out of their mouth with building this and building that, and I'm going to make this horsepower. They know they're not capable of doing it. And I'm quite sure that they've caught some heat, not just from me, but from many others questioning them on, Al, what happened with this? What happened with that? What happened to this engine? What happened to that car? And I think they all found a way to distance themselves from themselves. Does that make sense to you? They found a way to distance themselves from themselves. So now they can just talk about things. And hope to get views, and hope to make money. And I hope all of you have been well.